Alright guys, so this is the sixth video to the Wendigo build, and let's recap. From woodwork to metalwork to PVC work to electronical work to 3D printing, I have shown you how to build a complete Wendigo and now this is the sixth video going on. In this video I'm going to cover the next part in the build. The next plan piece. So now I got my creature built. Now we can move on to stuff like giving him a head. And so now I came out with a little drawing on how I'm gonna make the head for this creature. For this part, it's gonna be robotical work or animatronics. So this is the little drawing that I came up with to show you, and I'll go over there and cover it. Well, to start off, I'm going to bring this back over here. If you remember that in the first video I showed you this little Pico Top controller that I'm going to be using in the video, in the build. Well, here it is again. And this will control the skull to open its jaw to be servoed to talking. And I made a little diagram. So right here, this is the top of the skull as I see it. This is the inside of a skull. And I put a little drawing here to show you. Now to cover it up and to show you everything, to start with it, I need a skull. Normally I can go over there and buy one of those Bucky skulls from the Skeleton Factory. I did that one year and I liked it. Getting the thing to talk. Well, since I can't afford a Bucky skull right now, and I'm kind of limited right now, I decided to 3D print a skull that I found online. I know it's not completely done, but here it is. Yeah, there's a big old crack in there right now, but that's alright. This skull right here is going to be for the creature. I had to break this skull up in the pieces to fit on my printer because I got one of those mini replicator printers, and those things don't work that much. So to connect this character, and everything, I had to break this guy up. This is the skull that I'm going to use in the construction for the monster. So anyway, yeah, let me go back to this. Alright. Like I said, this is a Picotalk controller that you can get from Fright Props. And what this does is this. You'll have a power cord that plugs into the wall that will go into here. And then you have an audio port, which an audio splitter gets plugged in here. One goes to an MP3 player, like so. That's where all your audio files are. You can program your iPod. You can plug an MP3 player in it. When I first did this, I have one of those Kindle Fires, and I used it to create the creature. The other audio split goes to a speaker, and the speaker is going to be hidden where inside of the rock. Up here that I have marked here is a servo. And right here, these little things right here, these are going to be for eyes. And I'm going to put LEDs into this. So, yeah. I drew a little skull. Little quickie skull. And there'll be a wire that goes behind the jaw. You won't be able to see it. And the creature, the jaw is able to move up and down. So when I get ready to program the skull, it will be synced. So yeah. So the next part I'm going to do is finishing that. I'm going to finish out printing the piece to make a skull that's able to work. And then I can get on to the other part, which is printing the jaw. This creature now has the body done and everything. I'll be going to the store to go get me some PVC pipe to finish that arm off. And then we can get ready to go into the fun part. The head, like I said, is animatronic. And the skull right here, the jaw will be talking. And Then I'm going to move down to the next animatronic in there, and that's the creature's hands. I found some Halloween hands that are animatronic online. It's just an old Halloween thing that's online. And finally, I can, you know, animatronic his hands. But for now, I want to focus on the skull now. The head. Yeah. I still have the third piece. I still have the last piece. I had to Gorilla Glue the skull together to get it to stay together. I know there's a crack right here, but that's alright because I'm going to do something with this skull. I'm going to do something with the skull, and I'm going to flesh it out. So, yeah. So anyway, let's get this video started, shall we? Alright guys, so now all the printing is done for now. I finished my skull. And so on. Now my creature has an open jaw. I had to get a mandible put out and print out today. So the next part in this build for the monster's head, to make the jaw talk everything, you have to hinge it. And I drilled 2 holes. I drilled some holes in the skull and applied a black and yellow zip tie. Didn't matter what color. You see, if you don't put zip ties on for the creature to open its mouth, if you don't have a hinge for your monster, this is not going to work. I don't have a servo yet, and I don't have the eyes in yet, but I had to now hinge the monster's head together. And now he has a movable opening. The servo, when I get ready to place the servo in, will open his mouth completely. And when the servo turns down, the mouth opens. And when you open your mouth, that's how it works. The zip ties is just a way to open up the creature's mouth. I'm going to drill another hole inside and have some baling wire go down to the mandible. And when the servo is working, that drives down the wire, and so on. So my next part is I'm going to install a T connector inside the skull, and then I'll connect my servo, and then I'll do something with the eyes. So yeah, this is just how I learned, because I was watching a tutorial on YouTube one time how to open up mouths in talking skulls, and a video that they did popped up. So this is like the second skull I've ever done this way. And I've remembered that video, and now she works. So now I'm going to do some, I'm going to clip off these little tabs right here. That way the servo doesn't get connected to there and mess with it. And my next thing is I'm going to place a servo mount. So next thing is the servo mount and the T inside. And then I'll later on cover up the head. And then I can move on to more pieces. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Alright guys, so now I got the next step to my skull working. Now the creature has a jaw, the piece has a jaw, and I placed my servo mount in there. I had to cut a T open. This is a 1/4 inch PVC pipe. And this is what's going to keep the head from falling off. And I also added the pipe that will plug into the top of the monster. So yeah, the servo's coming. And on this servo, it will be plugged in. The Pico controller will be sitting in there, and so on. I'm not putting the top of a head because now, as soon as I get the piece going, the head will now have a working skull. I'm going to build the top part, which is what gives the wendigo look. And normally they have this deer looking skull on top. They have some kind of skull, I'm not sure what it is. And now I'm going to start building that skull. Right after I get the servo placed in, the eyes lit up. The Pico controller is going to light up everything. The head, the eyes will light up. The servo will be working. And so on. I might have to do a little bit more, milling on the head, but so on. I'll probably have to take these screws out and move them a little bit more. So now, the next thing I'm going to do is wait for the servo to come in. And then I'll solder everything up. I'll get the head adjusted, the skull adjusted. I'll get the jaw moving and working. What you think, little buddy? As I was saying, beside the cat coming up. Oh yeah, I'm going to get the servo working now. And so on. So right now, this is all I can do. Alright guys, so now I got this creature working. Kinda. Yeah, this creature turns left and right. It is a complete build. The skull's on it. He turns left and right. This is complete now. I connected the skull up top. Put both arms on. The arms are 18 inches down. And the forearms are 12 inches. 12 inches. And now we got a working creature that turns left and right. So now all I need to do now is just get his body working. Not his body working, but get a bigger motor, because he's so top heavy that the motor's having a hard time turning them. I'm afraid this thing's going to break. As soon as I get a bigger motor, it should help turn this creature. This little gimpy reindeer motor is not working. So yeah, this creature is too heavy on the top. And this is what I was afraid of. Yeah, he'd be too top heavy to build this creature. So my next thing is, now I'm going to finish up the skull, and then I need to order up this motor. I need to get a bigger motor now. This will finish it up. This creature will turn left and right. So yeah, for now I'm going to finish up the skull. Alright guys, so now I got my servo all hooked up, and now my creature is being ready to be programmed the right way. I've already did some pre-programming to it. This is what I'm using. The H7-485 HB Deluxe Servo with carbonite gear. Let's look at the box, huh? All these servos come in a nifty little box, and it's from High Tech. Says it works on aircraft, helicopters, race cars, those RC cars, and boats. People actually use them too for animatronics. The specifications say this: at 4.8 volt, 0.22 seconds /60 degree. It's 4.8 kg/cm. The weight is 45 grams, and so on. 6 volt, it's a little slower. So anyway, get rid of the box. This is what I want to look at. I've already added the servo. I've already placed it in. So now I have a servo inside the head. Drilled in the wires, screwed in the servo. I also put a zip tie in to hold the servo. And this is just the connector wire. If you don't know what a servo does, it's like a little mini motor that gets done in robots. And servos have these 3 connectors. Yellow's for signal, red is for positive, black is for negative. And each servo comes with a servo horn set. But I like to use the servo horn that is split, that's long way, has 2 sides like this. I clipped it off this, and so on. So now, let's plug our servo into the Pico bolt controller. Okay, now I got it turned on. The Pico bolt turns on like this. Me turn it off. Oh, never mind. Plug our eye into it. Yeah, I had to do a little adjusting in the eye. Just send it up. Just send up the controller right now. Send it all up. This is what you do. Just set it up. Let me get my little screwdriver that works with it. Plug my audio inside. See, now I just got in here and I equalized everything. I set the audio up. And so on. That's ready to go. That's ready to go. Now, I own this audio because this is just an audio that I made. Set up my wires. See, since I have no... Now, since I don't have a speaker yet, so yeah, as soon as I have a speaker, the better it gets. You can see the jaw moving. So yeah. So now, since I got the audio on there and everything, and you've seen the jaw moving, I'm gonna go ahead, solder up the connections into the wires, solder up the wire connections and everything. So now I know this picovolt works. So this is the audio that was working since you didn't get to hear it. This is just audio that I made. I recorded myself, and I did some editing thing to make the creature sound more deeper. So this is what the character sounds like. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, now I'm going to solder up the connections. I'm going to fit the eyes in, the lights inside the eyes. And so on. As soon as I can get me some solder, then I can do the solder work. I need to replace this. I need to replace the servo mount though. It got broke. But that's alright. I'll replace it. I'll print another one and replace it and get it working. But otherwise, no. I'll do something. I'm gonna clean up the tie wraps and get this thing working as it should be. So yeah. So as soon as I get done cleaning this up, it will be done. So anyway, I'm gonna do that, clean up everything, and in this video. Next video, I'm gonna work on the final part in the build, and that is building the skull on top to make this thing look more wendigo. So yeah.